In this episode of the Discourse, I am joined by Nick and Chloe as we discuss ramen noodles in prison, random facts about China, and the best heroin distribution practices. And Nick also provides us with some outlandish new mobile app ideas, and Chloe and I actually try to make them viable. Enjoy!
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look and feel years younger, baby.
What is going on in the news today? What's Togo?
I think
Is
there's
that a place in Africa?
Yeah, it's got to be a country.
You're racist. Just because they're black, it's Africa?
You said Africa.
Wait, this is not.
Yeah, what's up with the white dude? My brother with his host family. And
There you go.
There we go.
You're racist. It's that guy. Why's it gotta be the white guy that's in the host family?
That's severe genetic mutation.
What's on our news?
I don't know.
It's up at the top.
Where?
It's one of the right over to the right.
I thought these were supposed to be my.
No, this is common ones, I think.
Oh. The richest 10% hold 76. Ramen is displacing tobacco as the most popular U.S. prison currency.
So
I
rather
do
than
remember
cigarettes, I mean, no one's smoking anymore.
I wonder if they vape. You think they vape in...
I mean, you can't
Prison?
trade that, right?
Of the
That's just like a little liquid.
You could trade
stuff,
it. It's
right?
oil. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't break it down so easily. Like-
Yeah, it'd be harder than
Like, you
give me
owe
3
me-
cigarettes.
Yeah, you can't sit there and gamble with, okay, I'm going to pour 2.5 ounces here.
I got 2 milliliters on the line.
Doesn't
I don't
seem
know.
like ramen's that good, though. It's kind of big, right? Like,
There's like famous recipes using ramen in prison.
yeah.
I'm
sure there is. But, like, so, I don't know how much ramen is in prison. Let's say it's $1. Like, if you have $50, you have 50 stacks of ramen. That's a lot of ramen in your cell, right? Like,
$50 is probably high for somebody to have in prison, though.
that's true, but still, even if you wanted to collect a lot.
Let's just look up how much does ramen cost in prison,
How much is ramen in prison?
because I'm kind of curious.
Normally they are.
I mean, cigarettes, you can have a 50 in a hand, you know? Maybe 2.
Yeah.
They usually cost.
Cigarettes are actually expensive, too.
No, ramen.
Ramen? Those are cheap as shit.
Yeah.
That's like
Cigarettes are
10
actually
cents.
expensive in the real world.
Yeah. That's why it was a good currency.
There doesn't.
Because of taxes. it's
$2.
Expensive.
$2?
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, you get like...
Oh no, it's $2 just to put an order in. They cost $2.18. So it's $4.18 for 1 pack of ramen noodles.
Well,
That's crazy. You know how many packs of ramen that is outside of prison? That's like 6 or 7 at least.
Probably. That's pretty crazy.
But yeah, I know there's like a lot of recipes people use with ramen just because it's something that can be stored. So it's used a lot in prisons.
But it's
And-
not like you can cook in prison.
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have...
Yeah, they have like
Do they have stovetop?
kitchens
Yeah,
and
with-
stuff.
No, but not in their cells.
No, well, you're not confined to your cell all day. If you're in like a max security
I would have
prison,
thought like
yeah.
the only people that could actually cook would be the cooks. Like people that work in the mess hall.
Well, there's ways to cook without like having the kitchen too. I've heard of people like using bags to like heat them up and mix all the ingredients.
They get
up.
creative, I'm
yeah,
sure.
they're really fucking creative.
Put
Like
MacGyver in that shit.
They really are. A couple of people I lived with were prison guards, and they talked about that.
Like
it
how
is
creative
very
they get.
creative how they
You
cook
can make
stuff.
sangria in the toilet.
Yeah, basically. They really do, though. They really do make alcohol in the toilet.
And now you know somebody sucked a dick for ramen noodles.
That's probably true. Somebody probably has.
Sounds worse.
I bet that happens every day if it's the currency.
Sounds worse than a cigarette.
I don't know, how often does it
Cigarettes are
actually...
at least addictive. You
How
can
often does it
understand
actually
well.
happen that somebody sucks a dick for something in prison? You think
I
it
think
really...
it's actually pretty common.
You think so? I don't know if it is.
Well, it's either that or they're being like, either suck it or I'm cutting you.
Did you watch Orange is the New Black?
No,
It's
I
pretty
haven't.
interesting in that way.
Those are women in prison, though,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Well, they're
women.
not sucking dick.
Well, the male guards.
Oh, do they?
So,
Hmm.
which I can see happening in an all-female prison, the male guards taking advantage of the female
Yeah, and then
prison. I'm sure that happens all
it's
the time.
happened the other way around, too. Like, there's apparently...
Female guards taking advantage of the male?
No, the male prisoners taking advantage of the female guards and then getting out. So some, I guess, not so attractive
Oh.
female guards and then, like, some big-time gangster in prison. I know I've seen on Reddit
Huh.
where, like, some guy was just... I don't know, maybe he was helped to escape by a guard that he sweet-talked and was just...
Really?
And I think some of it, like,
I see what
impregnated
you're
guards
saying.
and
Like a
shit,
male
like,
guard
yeah.
sweet-talked a female.
A male prisoner.
Or, yeah, male
Sweet
prisoner
talk.
sweet-talked a female guard
Yeah.
and got out because of it.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm sure it
That's
happens.
hilarious. That's pretty much Orange is the New Black. All that kind of stuff happens all the time in the
Drama,
show.
drama.
Yeah.
That's why it's a good setting, I bet.
It's really a good show. It's Did you ever watch Oz?
Nope.
It's kind
Not
of
in
like
prison shows, I guess.
it's kind of like that, but more comedic,
Hmm.
and obviously with females. Oz was more like
Hardcore
brutal, yeah, a little more brutal. This one's more psychological kind of warfare, I think, happens, which is kind of typical of males and females, and
Yeah.
if you think about it.
Women will get into your head, men will cut your throat.
Yeah.
They're not clever enough.
No, here's...
Go straight to stabbing.
Males will actually cut your throat. Females will break you down
Make
and make you
wanna-
cut your own throat.
Yeah. There's the difference.
That's how it works.
What's your thoughts, Chloe? You're giving us that look.
Do you disagree?
I think that's a smart choice.
Are you trying to make me cut my own throat? I don't appreciate
This is
this.
part of the long
I'm looking
play.
at you, Nick.
Are you planting a seed right now for my own suicide?
Not really.
I think she is. I think.
This is all a long game.
I think I want to buy a gun.
You never know.
I don't know, but the prisons they're definitely much more open than you think, too. They're not like you're always in your cell.
Well, it depends on
It's
like this.
free range all the time unless you're in a max security.
Yeah,
Well, you
it depends on the
get stuff like
security.
chicken, free range.
Yeah. Sure. It's organic. It's an organic prison.
I wonder
Grass-fed.
if some Whole Foods chicken has more living space than prisoners.
Probably.
It's probably true.
Pasture raised. They have a pasture.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to actually visit a prison. I guess I have technically, but it was just to like visit one prisoner.
Well,
And
you
talk
asked
with them.
Dad to show you around.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
What we got over here.
It was interesting to like go through all the security checks because you can't really walk through. People have to open doors for you. So this is kind of interesting, even though it's not max security. I'd hate to see max security. That would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's where
'Cause
they get
it's
the
like,
tiny little cells, and they're like out like 1 hour a day or something.
yeah. You know how you have like those Center for Disease Control places where they have like that.
Hazmat suit.
No, they have that like space. Like if you're leaving the area, you have to go through one room and then
Oh,
decontaminate
and then
you.
you-
Yeah, and then you walk through another room. I
Right.
feel like that's how it is in the security places. It's like a one room where you go through that. It's just 2 doors, and then you go
Make
through
sure
the next
you're
door.
not taking anything. with
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a spot where you have to go through where they check you, and then you go through that door,
Yeah.
and then you're kind of in the whole area.
And the 2 doors won't open at the same time.
Yeah. And they have security cameras to watch that spot, of course. You think there's ever been some prison riots over ramen noodles?
Probably.
I want my fucking shrimp ramen noodles. What do you think is the best ramen noodles there? Is it shrimp or
like-
chicken or beef?
I would go shrimp.
Chicken's like the most common, so I would go shrimp as well. That's like, I think that's American chicken.
I don't know. So after I came here, I had the first pack of ramen noodles that I bought at the Kroger.
Mhm.
It was totally different with what I got in China.
Yeah.
And I tried it. It tastes horrible.
You're like, what is this? This isn't ramen.
You're saying it's ramen noodle from China?
No, the
was
very
horrible?
first one she got in the U.S. isn't the same thing as...
Oh, it's
Yeah.
different in China.
Like, they're-
ramen.
Right.
They're not cheap shit in China, right? Not
Well,
super
they're
cheap.
still relatively cheap compared to the regular milk.
But they're not like
very
10
cheap.
cents for a pack.
Not
Is it like the same thing though? Like a hard noodle that you boil to make into noodle?
It's a hard noodle we boil, but usually it comes with like either 2 packs or 3 packs of seasoning inside of it.
Not just your one flavor pack?
No, and I would say there's more solid stuff in there.
There's nothing solid in
Yeah,
the
there's
ramen
nothing.
here.
The noodles
It's
is the only
just
solid
noodles.
thing
Yeah,
in
yeah,
ramen.
that's what I'm saying, the differences. And usually you have like...
They have that in the cup
2
noodles.
different,
Oh, those
You
are
know the cup
disgusting, though.
You don't like the cup noodles?
No, they're disgusting. They're even way worse than normal ramen. They're not
I
even
mean,
close.
I wouldn't call them way worse, but I'd
Have you
say they're
gotten
worse.
cup ramen? It's like you put like boiling water.
Yeah,
in.
you boil the water,
I got
then
them-
dump it
I
in.
got them on the airplane.
Awful.
I don't know if it's because it's on the airplane.
Awful.
It's awful. It's just awful.
Like, that can't be worth it nearly as much in prison. No one's sucking a dick for a cup ramen. And they give a little
Hand jobs only. Handies only. That's it. Dude, I'll only do a hand job for a fucking cup of noodles. For bullshit.
Horrible, man.
Speaking of China, though, we were talking about... Randomly, my manager at Papa John's asked if you could visit China or Italy, which would you want to visit? And I chose Italy because I wanted to visit Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking, like, what else is there to visit in China besides the wall and the terracotta warriors? Because it's such a huge country. Like, what else is there to visit?
Well, first
There's
of all,
got to be tons of stuff. Because it's such a huge country and old.
Right. We do have a pretty long history, right?
Yeah.
And we already built a wall.
So what other destinations do you have, though? Like, there's got to be other destinations that I don't think about.
Okay.
I mean, obviously Hong Kong or, like, your big cities, but what is in there?
Hong Kong?
Yeah.
I would say Hong Kong is just a very stereotypical Asian big cities.
Yeah.
Lots of shopping malls, crowded streets, lots of people.
Well, what other landmarks, then? Like,
Well, like, we went to Hangzhou, and that had, like, kind of beautiful scenery. Like, it's mountainous,
West
so
Lake.
then there's the West Lake. So, kind of just a nice... I'm not sure what the comparison in the U.S. would be. Like, it's one of our major parks.
Not quite.
like Yellowstone?
Yeah.
or-
Most of the
Something
US,
like that.
US park is featured in like natural scenery, right?
Yeah.
And the ones in China is because we have such a long history that we also have so many people that left so many like cultural relics related to that scenery. So at the same time, you enjoy the scene,
Mhm.
and also you're reading all the stories to get to know the history, so,
Mhm.
et cetera, et cetera. So there's a little bit more to the scenery.
Yeah, the problem is you guys are so old, the history is like writing.
Too
It's like not structures like Egypt visiting the pyramids or
Yeah, they didn't collapse so
Rome. Yeah, it's like yeah, exactly. It's not
much. The
it's a little
Forbidden
simple.
City?
What's the
Right?
Forbidden City?
is in Beijing.
Yeah.
What is
where
that?
you go visit the wall.
I've heard of
No,
the
but
Forbidden
it's-
City,
so
but
it's the
what
same thing.
like what actually is it?
Oh, it's a palace to where the emperor lives. It was
Oh.
built in the Ming Dynasty, and it cost
Hmm.
a huge amount of money and lots of labors. Those poor peasants, of course.
You can say the same about the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that was like too far
Yeah.
in the history, thousands of years ago. But
Well, when was this then?
Ming Dynasty. So our
When was
last
Ming?
dynasty was Qing. So don't quiz me on the number. Qing.
Ming was before Qing?
Yeah, Ming was before
Then
Qing.
it's about 1700s, I think.
17.
Yeah. See, they don't...
How dare you not know your history?
It's very weird. They don't learn history the same way we do.
Why? What do you mean?
So they teach it as a cycle.
Year.
What do you
I
mean a
remember-
cycle?
So, like, the belief
You
is...
just, what?
It's very... I
It's based on which emperor he lives
Yeah.
and dies, and next emperor's name he lives and dies. And
We don't remember
Yeah.
years, you
No,
remember
we
like
date
dynasties?
Years, we date years by X amount of year when this emperor lives. So you ask
Yeah.
me like, how much year AC,
Mm.
then it will be difficult for me to remember because I need to remember like, okay, how did this?
America's
spot
all
live?
about the years.
And then,
Yeah, it's very different. Like, I did the thing with you once, if you remember. So, like, if you go to a Western person
Yeah.
and you stick out your hand and you say, you know, January's here, where is June? Right?
About here.
Yeah, where would you say? Where would you say? Right? June?
I'm sorry.
If January
So,
was...
January's here, where's June?
So, it's about there.
6
Where's
months.
June?
Behind?
First off, the direction was confusing.
I don't know. You just show me an hour,
okay.
and I don't know what you're supposed
So
to
I'm
do.
saying
So, if
January's here.
January's... Let's say
And
it's
I
the
want-
start of the
where should I
table.
put my other hand to show where June is in relation to January? Over there. Over here?
Yeah.
You didn't do that the last time I asked you.
Okay. What is
So she put it at about halfway.
Okay.
Normally you put it below.
Because it's a cycle, right?
Ah.
Because most Asians will answer that.
We'll answer below. We'll
Yeah,
put it
like
below.
it goes around in a circle. Maybe you've been westernized since then.
I don't
Because
know.
I first heard that several years ago and I tried it on you and you said, I guess there.
Oh, that's
It's
so
like-
weird. So what Nick did was put his hand out, and he's assuming that she would put it under
And you
the
completely
hand.
just like made me feel like
Which
that
is
was
weird.
shit, but I know
Which-
you did the other way.
Yeah, which would be weird.
Yeah.
Where I put it about what I would assume
Yeah,
is about
you-
halfway
We
across.
generally think left to right.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you constantly go forward, but like generally in Asian cultures, you learn everything's like a cycle, right?
So you
Everything's cyclical.
would go under.
Yeah. So they don't learn years. You just learn
Yeah.
like the dynasty began and then it ended.
But
It
we
began,
also only
and then
have
ended,
like
a
what
season.
200 years, so it also makes sense to think in years
No, but we
rather
don't-
than the thousands.
This is
of
Western
years.
civilization, though, so we have thousands of
Oh,
years as
sure.
well, and we'd still answer this
Western
way.
civilization. Though.
Yeah,
Right.
we
And,
all Westerners generally answer that way.
And also the in the ancient China, how they calculate the year was based on like two characters. One character is rotating, like representing 12.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Representing what?
12.
12.
So,
12?
So it's like he counting 1 to 12, but in different characters.
Okay.
And it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What do you mean it's not? What is it?
It's 甲乙丙丁戊己庚辛。
Is it equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 though?
You don't get it.
Yeah, I'm
One
confused.
sense, yes. But also it's represented different, say, like, you know your birth animal, right?
Right.
Right.
Also
so
a
it's
cycle.
also corresponding to the animal.
Yeah. The years. Like,
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
12 years, 12 animals.
Right.
Also,
I'm a
cycle.
rabbit.
Also,
You guys
a
got
cycle.
me a rabbit.
It loops around every 12 years.
Yeah. So based on that calculation, it's actually 60 years a cycle.
60.
So there's 5 cycles within the 12 cycles.
Yeah.
Within the 12.
Well,
yeah.
it's by 12.
So it's a cycle
I'm so
within a
lost
cycle.
right now. Wait, what? There's 5. So what's
So
the 60
12
years?
years makes a cycle, right? 12
Uh-huh.
years you go around all the animals. Okay?
So that's what determines what animal you are. Is
Yeah.
every 12 years.
And she's saying there's an even larger cycle,
That's 60
that is-
years,
5 of those smaller cycles.
which is 60 years. So every
Yeah.
60 years is another cycle.
Yeah, well, like, do you just demarcate history like that?
Are you talking like this is your
Cycle.
centuries or whatever, your decades?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
That's-
Okay.
that would probably be better.
Like it would
Okay,
equivalent
so
out. I
you
got
guys
that.
more like a clock with
Yeah.
your years.
Right. And,
They go in
and
cycles.
Yeah, and then we report years by, say, like the emperor's birthday. So one of the emperor in Ming Dynasty, for example, Wan Li.
Why is 12 such a
Because it's
number?
divisible by 3, 4, 6. Into 2, 3, 4, 6.
But like, is there a reason that it matters?
So you can divide it. So I can say, well, we're halfway through. We're
Or a third way through.
a third,
I
fourth
getcha.
way, where,
I getcha. Okay.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's actually why.
Yeah,
It's
that makes
12
sense.
and 24 hours.
Well,
yeah.
because
So it was
And 60.
I forget what
62.
podcast I was listening to, but they were talking about, it might have been Pin Gillette. He was talking about, let's go to the 10 system. Everything in tens.
Yeah, but then a quarter of the way through is like 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
But why do you need to know a quarter of the way through? You know what I mean?
That's just a way we generally think about things. Like, we're halfway there, we're a quarter way there,
yeah,
we're a
that's
third
true.
there.
That does make sense
Very
of why
easy to-
12. It doesn't, because it doesn't seem like we use 12 much except for time. Like, what else do we use 12 for? A dozen eggs, I guess.
Mhm.
I guess we do use 12 more often than not. But then again, you guys are on the metric. Does China use metric?
Yeah.
I assume they use
Yeah.
metric. What else doesn't use metric? Is it just us and...
And one other African country.
one random African country?
I'm serious.
Is it like a British...
Yeah, a former
Okay.
British colony.
But Britain
changed,
does it.
yeah.
Yeah, Britain changed. So
Well,
it's
part of the
weird.
reason-
That makes sense.
It makes a little sense for us. I don't know about the African country.
But why haven't we changed, honestly?
There is a good reason. So we adopted computers before anyone else.
Uh-huh.
And we programmed everything in our standard metrics. Now, to actually change over would require a lot of,
It's a lot of
investment.
legwork
Yeah.
to change over.
So,
But it seems
that's
like
actually
if
been one of
we
the
need to
arguments.
set that at some point in
Yeah,
time.
I agree. It's a
we
better
need
system.
to. Like, we're being assholes right now.
No, I think we should.
It's standard. We call it
No,
standard.
no. I think we should regress. I'm going to start measuring myself in stones. How much stones I weigh. And when I say I'm so many feet, I mean I took my foot and was like, I'm
measured
how many feet. How many hands is that horse?
How did stones work?
I think they got a standard stone. Like, what's about a pretty
Literally,
good
it's
about a
stone.
stone? You weigh
You weigh about like
That's
seven stones.
That's what feet make is. I mean, it's basically.
It's
one
based
guy's
off of like a
big
king
foot.
or something,
Yeah,
right? Like
it's
a king's foot.
Yeah, it's. If they had hands. Hands was a measurement.
What is the standard for feet now though? Like there has to be an actual standard.
I would think that they have like they used to have for metric, like just one.
Metric
location where
uses
they
things
have all
that never
stuff.
change.
Yeah. Well, they have, so, for metric at least, in France, they have like sets of objects. So they have this one object that is 1 kilogram exactly. Now, if you snuck into it and shaved it off, technically 1 kilogram, you lose weight.
The heist of the century.
Yeah, like that's
I'm gonna
the
fuck up
definition of a
measurements for the
kilogram.
market forever.
There was a documentary on
Yeah.
how they preserve it in
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're hardcore crazy.
Why do they use that as weight? Like,
They have to have a reference.
because don't they use like for distance? They use something like stars or something.
No, so now they're trying to get away from it. So
Because they
that,
expand, right?
well, because
Is
it's
that
hard
why?
to actually
the
make
length,
that
the length
thing
can be
constantly.
derived by the light speed,
Yeah.
Uh huh.
the light year.
But everything's expanding in space, so eventually that's going to change, right?
That changes by such a minuscule amount. Even
But it's
like
going
an
to
atom,
change.
technically.
No, light speed constant.
Yeah. So that's what they're
Yeah,
trying
the
to do
speed
now.
of light is something I do.
They're
remember that.
trying to now make it so that every measurement is based off
Based
of
on
like
that constant.
like a meter is the length the light travels in a vacuum.
Well, how are you
in
going to do weight though for
so
that?
many seconds?
Yeah, this is tricky. This is.
I think they
why
derive
they
it somehow.
Because I get measurements, you can use the speed of light, but weight you can't use speed of
How
light.
would you go from?
This is where the documentary said like they did something like a perfect square, a perfect
Yeah.
sphere.
Yeah.
What?
So you have the length, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you define 1 kilogram as like 0.36 meters sphere made of nothing but steel
water.
or titanium or something, whatever.
But you have to have a weight of titanium to determine
They
what
do.
that is,
They
right?
do.
But where do they measure that weight of titanium?
No, you don't
in?
actually need to have it, right? Because you know how many atoms of titanium would be. in that, and you know
Oh,
the
I
weight
see
of
what you're
titanium
saying.
atoms.
Yeah.
So
Ah,
they're trying to
so
get
the
so that you
atoms.
don't have to
No,
have the
it's
objects
constant.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much atoms would be in the volume, so you can use that number to calculate.
Okay, now that you went to atoms, it makes sense.
Right.
Because otherwise it would be like, well, you just have to have a measurement for the steel then at that point, and then it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But if you're going by atoms.
Then you know the atoms.
Steel is
you know how
alloy.
much.
It doesn't make sense. If they use it-
Oh yeah, that's true. Alloy.
It'd be
Like, what is it,
or something.
30%?
I forget what it is. They actually have it
They
online.
have, it's probably like iron or
iron,
something that's actually
in some carbon,
an element.
and some other stuff.
Yeah.
What is steel? What is the two combinations or three? What kind of
I
iron
don't
is
know.
it?
I'm not a metallurgist.
Why not? What is steel?
I actually worked with one Indian guy that was a metallurgist that later became a programmer. It's like, why would
That's
you?
quite a change.
Yeah,
That is a
was
big
older.
jump.
He was COBOL programmer. It's
First
very
off,
strange.
who the fuck is a metallurgist in
Yeah.
2016?
Well, no, this was
Iron with
2006.
carbon and other elements. So it's what kind of you probably make your own recipe.
Yeah, I'm sure it's lots of different.
Your
stuff.
own recipe for steel. Have you seen like the 3D printers though that are actually stronger than steel? The way they make them. Have you seen those
I
before?
don't think so.
Because they use like a lattice system
Mm-hmm.
to actually just the way they build like the wrench. That was the video I watched. It's actually stronger than steel just because of the pattern they use.
Oh, okay. I see.
To actually print the
Yeah.
the wrench that they made. You guys
So
never
you're
watched
saying-
this?
So you're saying the wrench is stronger than steel?
Yes, because of the way they printed it.
Yeah.
It's
So
like a
not the
lattice. You know how
actual-
like a suspension bridge is really strong?
Right,
Yeah.
I know.
It's sort of like that.
But it's directional, right? Like you can only apply force in one direction that is stronger than steel. But if you do
The
it
one
in
you would do in a wrench.
Yeah, well,
Direction
it's a
you
wrench,
apply
so yeah,
for a
there's
wrench.
one, there's a fulcrum, and your hand's going to push down on that. 3D?
Just saying that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a
You
problem.
it's stronger.
It's stronger.
and given a certain direction.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how you'd, I don't know about that. Wouldn't it just be stronger in general? Like, if you're trying to break it, it's going to be stronger.
I don't know. I'm thinking if you drive over the side of a bridge, it's probably not going to be as good as if you drive on top of it because that's what it's built for.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Unless I do like a the atom level change.
Oh, I forgot I can't play sound because the mic actually hooks up sound. But this is the 3D printed wrench that he makes. Look at it, though. It doesn't...
Looks weird.
It's just... Well, because you can make it any color you want. He happened to make it like a weird green. But, I'm trying to look to see if they have the view of the lattice. Yeah.
I bet it's a lot lighter than steel.
Yeah, that was his point. Is not only is it stronger, it's lighter. It's much lighter than steel. 3D printers, though, it seems like those should have, like, at some point they have to take off. That seems like the next technology to really boom. You don't think so?
I thought maybe back in 2008, and so far nothing.
Virtual reality and 3D printers, I feel like, are the next big things.
VR is, I don't know. 3D printer may have more technological hurdles, like mixed materials.
You think 3D printers do?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have
There's
the
more
materials problem.
problems.
Have
Yeah.
a physical world to deal with.
Yeah, and also just the cost to get that machine. It's not going to be
They made it like a $400 3D printer.
right.
You have to put it together yourself,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be the best.
It's like you got to buy all this plastic and wait like 5 hours to produce like
A spoon.
yeah.
But, like, you can see the potential, though. You can see that potential.
Yeah. But it,
Like, what was the
that's a far way
first...
to go.
What was the first computer in the 60s? It was a
Yeah.
fucking whole house.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And now, 50 years later, my phone,
Yeah.
this phone is a computer.
What I'm saying is, so I saw the very first demo of the Rep Wrap, and I
What's
think it
the
was
Rep Wrap?
It was the very first 3D printer I saw big marketing for. So it was the idea was you could print a Rep Wrap with a Rep Wrap.
Yes, I've seen that. I've seen that before.
So from that point, that's been I think 8 years ago. I haven't seen a huge like rapid improvement. Maybe a little bit at the margins. But it's nothing like doubling computing speed every...
But there doesn't
2
need to
years.
be that kind of...
It does if I
Right.
want to see a 3D printer in my lifetime. That is a huge deal.
And also, like,
I don't know, about 20 years, though.
that's, the importance of the personal computer to everyday's life as a 3D printer to everyday's life is not equivalent, right? So not everyone needs a 3D printer.
No, I disagree with that. If I'm like cooking and I break my fork or whatever, I just go to my 3D printer and print a new one. I don't have to go to a store and print a new one.
But no.
Ideally, if we're talking like, let's talk ideal, a 3D printer, like, I don't have to go to a store and buy a board game. Mm-hmm. I download the board game, whatever PDF file or whatever it is, upload it to my 3D printer and it prints out that game. I don't have to ever go to a store to buy anything. I would buy blueprints.
Yeah, but you see, like, the technology needs to be real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Need to be there to support that kind of need, but also the market needs to be there to driven the technology to go forward.
Yeah. Well, I think the market's there. The technology is not up with the market.
I don't think you're considering how much cheaper it is to not do 3D printing, but what they actually do to mass-produce spoons is they make a mold and they inject it, and that's just far more efficient. Like, you can create millions of spoons for a couple bucks.
Right.
But if you're going out and spending money on plastic and then having your 3D printer go through all these motions to print a spoon, I mean, just an energy alone.
When we're talking about spoons, yes. But when we're talking about, like, a laptop, what if I could 3D print a laptop?
That's where I'm saying we're so far away in
That's
technology.
True. I'll give you that. But you could have said the same thing about computers in the 70s.
I don't think we're anywhere near print a laptop.
Yeah.
I don't think the chips...
In the 70s, though, there was a difference.
But we're talking about 20 years.
Moore's Law was active. Moore's Law was active.
Oh, you're saying it's not
active
2
years,
anymore.
The number of transistors doubled on a chip. We don't have that kind of improvement in 3D printers so far.
The line width can be thinner and thinner. That's why Moore's Law can apply. But when you reach into a physical limit, then...
We're almost there, yeah. But
this is why they go into multi-core.
But back in the 70s, Zach was saying...
Yeah, in the 70s,
computers were way behind, and now they're crazy. But back then, even then, we could see Moore's Law happening.
I mean, still, I'm talking 20 to 30 years before we might see 3D printers be like something in every household.
Could be. I mean, it's not where I'd place my bet. I'd place my bets on solar.
Oh, yeah.
And I
don't disagree with that.
DNA sequencing. I would place my bets on some...
Sequencing for what? Like, for medicine or for...
The
designer babies and medicine.
I was about to say, we're talking Gattaca.
The ethics issue is a lot larger.
That's why you're going to go to Asia to do it.
The ethics don't matter because that means in the U.S. it might not happen, but some other countries just going to do it. Ethics will not.
You get to the best scientists around the world, and the government won't issue funding because it violates some sort of ethics.
But that's the same thing that happened with the Hadron Collider. The U.S. was like, let's make it. It costs too much money. Like, what was it, Sweden? Is that where the collider is? They're just like, okay, well, fuck it, we'll build it. Like, no matter what, there's so many different countries that will just say, well, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Because it's a chance to do something.
The European Union
so innovative.
From what I understand, though, in recent news, though, it might have been a smart move on the U.S. because...
Why?
Because they've just figured out no new science came from it, and no new science is going to come.
I thought we discovered the Higgs boson from it.
They confirmed it, which they already believed it existed anyways.
But... Well, you're saying that's not a big deal.
It's a big deal.
That's all science is but hypothesis and confirmation through experiment.
But their general hope, what they really wanted, was to
experimentally prove and observe the Higgs particle.
Their bigger thing.
That's what they already did.
There are unexplained things that they were trying to figure out through using this, and they've now. Again, this was really recently on the news. They have come to the conclusion that after all this time, there's nothing to reject the model that they had before.
I think that is just as big of a discovery as
there's nothing to expand it. So there's parts unexplained in that model, though, and that was the hope. They wanted to know the unexplained things, and this Large Hadron Collider didn't actually explain anything.
That's why I'm still more for space exploration. Like, we need to go to Mars. We need to. It seems like that answers more questions
Yeah,
and provides so much more technology for the world than things we do right now. Like, so much of what we do now is, let's make our cell phones better.
Well,
Let's make our lives easier.
that's where the money is.
Well, I think that's true, but space exploration uncovers stuff like that by accident. Anytime you're doing any kind of experiment and solving problems, you come across stuff. Like, what was it? Microwaves? Isn't that from the space exploration?
No, that was
it
from,
microwave,
I think,
or
the bomb.
There's something that came
They were
from
developing
space exploration
nuclear,
like that.
nukes, and then the guy noticed his chocolate bar was melting when he was around radiation.
Well, what came from? What was the big thing that came from space exploration? There's something like that we use every day. I know Tang, but
Whoa. A pen that can write upside down.
I used to have one of those for school specialties.
No, there was definitely a lot. GPS, I believe.
GPS. I knew there was a couple of things that were like stuff people use every day.
Obviously, just satellites. Like,
satellites in general.
yeah,
Well,
that's huge.
yeah, that's a pretty big one. You can just stop there.
Modern world work.
Well, satellites. I was listening to a podcast where they're talking about this section of Google. I think they're called X or something.
Google X.
Yeah, Google X, where they're talking about one of the projects they had were sending balloon satellites into
for
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi?
Yeah, for Wi-Fi. I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome. And that's just like their whole goal is to think up outrageous things and actually fail. That's their goal, is to fail.
So far,
they get bonuses for failing.
That's all they've done.
Yeah, but that's
nothing
hilarious.
worked out yet.
But it's pretty cool for creativity's sake.
Hey, they should pay me to fail.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
really
like
good at it. I'm great at failing.
I will come up with some dumb shit. Like, you better prepare the bonuses because I'm gonna come up with some stuff.
Where's Harry? Because there's the Seinfeld references where like Kramer comes up with the idea of like so in an oil container they're always breaking. So he wants to wrap them in a big bubble like rubber thing, and they do some tests and like break it and like drop it on people, and then obviously it's not working, so they're like, how about ketchup and mustard combined in the same bottle? In a bottle, and you flip either one.
That's like a goober.
Goober.
It's the peanut butter and jelly in one jar.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually not good, though. Don't get it.
No,
it
not.
actually
It's
isn't
not that.
good.
It just doesn't work.
It's just not that good.
You're not missing much.
Cody had this invention, I remember, from one of our old episodes, where it was, instead of using the restroom, you would just have a vacuum that you would hook up to yourself. It would just vacuum out your shit. And,
I'm not sure it's better than what
Yeah,
we
that's-
do now, but I'm not sure it's worse. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's not exactly like... like, is it better or worse? Like, where's the...
I don't want to clean the vacuum out.
That's the thing. What's the cleaning involved?
Yeah.
If there's no cleaning for either party, it could be better. But then I told him, whoa. Cody, you're thinking small. Well, if there's just like a pill that could get rid of everything.
Too hard.
Like-
Instead, we're going to go to work, and we're going to hook them up to our butts. And we're going to walk around the whole time. And when you got to go, you got to go.
You gotta go.
You know?
In
I
a
mean,
parallel
of course you
uni-
got to step over people's cords.
It sounds
That's
like a
another
parallel
thing.
universe in Rick and Morty, where they're all just like hooked up to a vacuum system.
Oh, man.
Did you ever see the, there's a YouTube video of Rick and Morty where they're doing a, improv session of
With Summer?
yeah, it's with Summer and the guy who does Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And the other guy does like the, kind of the scenery, like he does the scenery. It's really interesting watching because it's just them sitting around and talking, but they're like painting the whole picture as it goes on. It was pretty cool. And they say like that's how they write a lot of their episodes is they'll start that way and that'll get the basis of their ideas. And so how they write an episode is they'll have writers in a room and while they're doing the improv, the writers will start writing stuff like, oh, that's hilarious, like here's where we can go with this and start like showing them ways to like go with what they've just improv'd. was like, that's a very unique way
I've heard
to
that's
write a show.
basically the way that when they do those, they've done 2 of them, I think, where they're watching TV, intergalactic TV.
And you can tell
They
that
just go
some of
and
that's
get
improv.
high, and then just whatever they say, they're gonna put on.
You can tell that's improv, for sure.
2 brothers.
He says he does what was it? He does 2 shots or something, or no, not shots. He sips on some kind of drink. It was some scotch or something when he does the improv sessions, and that's like they do like a 4-hour session and just drink the whole time and do the session.
It's a nice job.
Yeah, right? It really is. But it's an interesting way to write a show. It's definitely unique to improv and have people do it.
It's definitely created a unique show. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not something I've really seen before. Crazy as that.
Yeah, it's out there. It's also, what was it? The improv session they were talking about was Rick was what's the girl's name again?
Summer.
Summer walks in and Rick's injecting 120 cc's of feces into her nieces.
Into Morty's knee.
Into her knees, but he calls them nieces just because it's like 120 cc's of feces in her nieces.
Right.
He's like, yeah, Rick, no problem. I just get rid of my knees. I just want to amputate my knees. I don't remember the whole setup, but that was the
gist of it.
The gist of it.
Yeah, and the summer was just kept asking, like, I have some questions regarding my college.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
like,
collecting
which
college.
should I go to?
It was pretty funny. But you can see where they end up going with that. What was the episode? God damn it. I can't think of it, because they had an episode like that where you started... Oh, that's what it was. They had like the little leprechaun that has all that cereal, and it's like, and none of you kids can have... Because you can't have his Lucky Charms, like... What's the...
You mean the Trix Rabbit?
Yeah, tricks are just for kids, but it was the Lucky Charms guy, which now that I think about it doesn't make sense enough. But he's like, nobody can have it. Nobody can get it. Nobody will ever get my tricks. And like the whole... He was just going through that, and the writers wrote like, well, he should go with it because he really wasn't going anywhere with it. And so afterwards, the kids jump him and kill him and cut open his stomach and get the tricks from his stomach. Like, that's where the writer's like, okay, there's actually a way to go with this, because you're talking about him. They're like, there's no way to get my trick.
Get his tricks?
Yeah, like, there's no way.
It's good to be in 2016.
I really wish we could go
Day.
back to, I don't know, 1950, when they first introduced TV and it's all wholesome stuff.
And they show them Rick and Morty.
Yeah, and be like, here's where this is going, okay? Just so you know. This is where we're going to take this in the future.
Leave it to Beaver and Rick and Morty.
Well,
I can just imagine.
Could you imagine the shell shock?
Shutting that down.
You should show, like, whoever invented internet, show them website of 4chan.
Yeah.
4chan, oh my god.
And this is actually what most of it will be used for.
I mean, the internet's still in its infancy, really, if you think about it. The internet's like, what, 90s? So it's only...
Well,
about 20 years
the web
old?
is from the 90s.
The real... What
the
we
internet
use.
is from, like, 78, 79.
The internet everybody uses, which makes it the internet.
That was 90, 91, I think. So that's pretty young, yeah.
Yeah, it's only 20 years of a technology. It's obviously, like, Uber's only how old? For 5 years, maybe?
Yeah, and I think over our lifetime we've seen it become more of a standard, kind of. Like
Like the necessity of life.
no.
Necessity
I just
is
mean,
it. I think internet's almost a necessity.
But I mean, more like, so do you remember back when we first got the internet, the web pages we used to go to and what they would be like GeoCities?
Yeah, that's
and
basically, I was about to say, the
they
way
were
to
just-
put it is GeoCities.
They were just
web
shit.
pages.
A lot of them were just shit.
No, the picture was going like...
It was just a Wild West,
Yes,
but
it
now, like, basically people visit 5 to 10 major websites. It's been corporatized. The big things have been kind of grabbed. I mean, it's
But
still,
there's
you
still
can do
room
whatever
to do
you want.
I was about to say, like, for instance, this podcast. If we want to do a fucking podcast, we can do it.
Yeah, that's true. But generally we don't go to completely amateur websites where it's... but we did before.
Well,
You mean they still can't eat well?
you're right.
Go
You're
to
right.
basic
I'm trying to think if
web.
I go to any amateur kind of websites.
When's
I go
the
to,
last
like,
time
Reddit.
you saw an under construction GIF? Do you remember those?
Well, that's
It used
just.
to be all over the web.
But an amateur doesn't need to have an under construction GIF. You can do like Squarespace and make a good looking website and be an amateur.
Exactly.
But that's what you're saying. Like, I might visit an amateur website and not realize it's an amateur.
Yeah, it's been professionalized.
Yeah, everything has
Like,
been.
it's not as much of a crazy wild...
But that still makes it Wild West, in my opinion. If an amateur can make a professional website.
I mean, you can. It's just no one's going to visit it. You can go...
Well,
You can get a revolver and start gunfighting people, but you'll be arrested immediately. So with the Wild West here, he's just...
but that's
You're not going to get away
That's
with
different,
it.
though. This
You're
is
not getting away with the
getting
weapon.
a revolver and actually being really good with the revolver. Just nobody's paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure. I think the metaphor is breaking apart.
It's going to stroll now.
That's also kind of the weird thing about social media is everybody can have it and use it and be seen, but everybody pays attention to the non-amateurs for the most part.
Here's
Yeah.
what I would say: is it's really hard to be the next Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
Like you
I
need
get
huge
that.
corporate funding.
Corporate funding.
Huge funding. Period. You need lots of money to
No,
make
no,
something
it's-
huge. You think?
No, not even with lots of money. You can't get that much of a user base.
Yeah.
The core user base is already experienced, unless you bring something new to the table.
No. So Uber did, but they had so much money to do.
Yeah,
it.
they got a lot of funding for it. If
I'm
you're doing
so you
something
can't do it
that
without
is
money.
business related, I agree with you. If it's art related, maybe not.
Okay, I guess I see that. But I mean, just so I was saying more like a business like starting
Like
the next
Uber.
Facebook or the next Microsoft, the next Google.
Something we don't
you
have.
can't be two guys in a garage anymore
Yeah,
if you're going to build a.
I get that.
internet
Well,
based
you
thing.
can, but you have to. Be,
I don't think you're gonna
You have to
win.
have a great idea, and you have to have funding for it.
Yeah, which means you're not in a garage.
Well, you could be. If you presented an amazing idea, if you're two guys in a garage, you built a lot of this. Say you built Facebook and you presented it to somebody
Mhm.
that's willing to fund it. I think you could do it. It's just a lot harder. I'll say it's a lot harder now to be a Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be wrong. I mean, it's one of those things where you say it can't happen until it does. Like just a black swan. You can't predict those
Like, what the
things.
fuck? Snapchat came out of nowhere. Like
But
all those
I
things
think
came
they
out of
did
nowhere.
have a good amount of funding. They had a lot of VC.
Did they?
weren't just, I believe so.
It's
I'm
such a
not sure.
I don't.
It's a simple
understand
app.
that
It's
program.
not that
Yeah,
difficult.
that's what I mean. It doesn't seem like it would be. What was the funding for then? Advertising?
to get it,
Or
yeah,
what?
to build the actual people using it. I'm sure, like you didn't just randomly go, "Well, download this thing." Like they had.
So to
ads.
say the app is so
Crazy.
simple. Like I'm sure you could have programmed Snapchat.
I
It's not
could've.
that
It's very
complicated.
easy.
But anyways, something that we don't have here that one of my podcasts they're talking about is like basically an Uber for maids. Like you can set up a maid and they'll come clean your house, like while you're not there or whatever. Like basically turn your house into a hotel where somebody can just clean up. Like I feel like there's still a lot of that stuff
Yeah.
available that we haven't explored. But you're right. It probably does take a little more funding.
Just to build the network, get users. That's the
Yeah.
harder. It's not so much building the thing that's hard.
It's hard
It's
to get
getting
users.
people to use it. And you need money for that. There's just no real way around
But you
it.
could argue if it's good enough, you might not have to have the funding to get people to use it. If it's something good, like Google didn't seem to really have. Like,
No,
how did-
that's what
At the
because they
time,
were in the early phases.
yeah,
that's
but
what
like
was my argument.
if
It's not
something
like
good
that
like
anymore.
that came about, like maybe not a search engine, but if something was good enough, and you wanted
It could
to
be
use it,
so amazing that like you would stop.
if we knew, we would be
Yeah,
making it right now.
You're
So
right,
that's why
you're right.
that's the problem. That's why we don't know, because something could come out and we're like, wow, this is freaking amazing.
You just gotta, take one of the existing businesses and say for and then something.
What?
Like,
What?
Like Uber for...
yeah,
blank.
Uber for coffee tables.
Uber for coffee. Like coffee
Yeah,
delivery.
there you
don't
go.
have to go get your Starbucks. So it gets delivered
Oh,
to you.
here's one. Facebook for your cat. That might already exist.
That 90%, 100% exists.
It's not called
People make like Facebooks for the cats.
But one specifically for cats. Specifically built for
I
cats.
see this.
That's not even a bad idea. This is the problem. You're saying this, I'm thinking, this is actually a
We
good
got a
idea.
business here.
Dogs and cats, though. You need to get the
Living
doggies.
together.
No. This has to be two separate websites, because like most people are dog people or cat people.
Yeah.
So that's so retarded, but it's actually a good idea.
I've got another. Kittens mittens.
There is Cody always visited kitties and
Titties. I remember that from your last podcast when you used to do
Kitties
this.
and titties.
It's a very important thing in the world.
Guess what kitties and titties was? Uber for... That's like... People always say this is like the Chipotle for Blake.
Yeah,
Even though it's funny,
but they did that.
Subway was always like Chipotle.
Yeah, but Chipotle was better.
Yeah, Chipotle just had better food.
So it was the Chipotle for Italian food. That's Piata now. And they just did just
Chipotle's
copy the
actually
shit out of
making
it.
an Indian food version, like
Really?
curry. I can't wait for that.
That's
'cause I
actually
love
doesn't sound too
curry.
bad.
I had those kind of rubbish.
Okay, an Uber for Chipotle restaurants.
Well,
I want
they already have that.
Wait.
It's the
Oh, God.
Postmates or whatever. You like
What is this?
Postmates? You don't know Postmates?
No.
It's pretty much
No, it's Grubhub.
no.
Oh,
They're competitors. No. I think it's called Postmates. Yeah, Postmates is basically you sign up for it. I haven't ever used it, but you tell somebody like, go get me like a hairbrush at the grocery store or a burrito at Chipotle, and they go get it for you and bring it to you.
No, by Uber
Ah.
for Chipotle restaurants, I want to say I want an Italian spaghetti-based Chipotle. And then
it comes
they
about-
will build
they make it.
They will build a restaurant
From scratch.
that I go in and I select what kind of spaghetti toppings I want.
Well, they probably that technically Postmates would be like that plus a chef. So a chef mate. That's what you just made, chef
Yeah,
mate.
there we go. What's another? What's other than Uber?
That's actually not a. Once again, that's not a bad idea. Having chef mate. We just named it chef mate. You just say, "I want this food specifically," and they just
It's
make
not
it.
a bad
That probably
idea.
already
You
exists.
You can sign up those housewives at home that have free time maybe to do something.
Did we just create $1 million idea?
I think we've created several.
And you can pair it up with the working people, and then they can say like, I want to order this, and then you can do online matching, and then they send the food.
No, better is you have a recipe. Like, this is my grandma's recipe. Send it, chef makes it for you, and somebody delivers it to you. Like, you can literally have anything you want, and a chef is there to make it for you.
No.
Or,
See, at the point, you need to have certified chef to do it.
it doesn't have to be certified, but it would be rated like an Uber driver.
Yeah,
Better chefs would get better ratings.
Right.
Yeah, so you have like a French chef and you order a burrito. Like, I think that's
Well, it would probably go, you would like, what kind of food are you wanting? Like, you would pick, and then there'd be chefs for all those specific
You're right.
dishes.
Yeah, and the price will be calculated for the
Ingredients,
grocery
the time it takes
price,
to
the time
make
it
it,
takes.
We got a new app
the
idea.
delivery.
Close.
We literally just came up with $1 million idea.
Now let's come up with another.
Alright, So we got Chef Mate.
Okay, here's my next one. So, they're coming out with a new, mechanic is the swiping, right? You get your app and you swipe right or left, like Tinder. You swipe right, you want them.
There's more. That's like
left.
the thing now?
Yeah, that's like the thing, a swipe app.
I know that for Tinder, that's just the thing.
And that's my idea, is I want a swipe app for swipe apps. I want to either
I don't like that
swipe
app.
right to install the swipe app or swipe left to not install.
You left, but that's still... Once again, if you go to what's popular and you want to just kind of browse apps, it's not a bad idea to just be able to swipe left and right.
No, why don't you just install a swipe UI for all your Android device, so that anything that would just need to map into something become mapping to swipe left, swipe right.
For Reddit, instead of
Swipe
upvotes,
right.
what if it just showed you an article and you swipe left if you don't care about it, right to upvote it and
Right.
read comments?
Right, you just sort of need to have an app that running in the back and always, catch that event and sort of navigate that.
Yeah, the app is something that would make all your other apps do that.
Or, here's my next idea.
He creates dumb shit and then we make it viable.
Okay, make this viable. So the next big thing is all alternative reality or
Virtual reality?
AR.
Yeah, AR.
You talking like Pokemon Go?
Augmented reality.
What is
AR.
it?
Augmented reality.
Augmented reality.
Yeah,
That's
you're talking
the term.
Pokemon Go.
Okay. So I want to put on my Google goggles or whatever it is, and I see people out there, right? I want to reach out and I want to swipe right or swipe left on that person. I swipe left on that person. I don't see them. They are eliminated from my reality.
But
Oh, Beth is swipe left.
Like mute.
Yeah. Just disappear. Photoshop them out of my life. I look at them, I don't see
That honestly
anything.
sounds like it could be...
what
Why-
do you bump into though? I still gotta see them to avoid it.
Maybe just a big black bar.
No, I feel like Photoshop, people are so good at Photoshop, I don't know, to do a moving Photoshop would be hard.
It's frame by frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
This
be...
is something coming up very soon.
But, your Xbox, what's the one that records the motion called? Kinect can, record your motion. It shows, kind of your body outline. So I don't see why I couldn't read a body outline and at least make it black. I could easily do that. Shade it. Shade whatever is moving. That looks like it'll take the face.
I don't think you're making this viable.
No.
Okay, Tinder, but again for cats. So you put up your
Oh,
cat's
Jesus.
profile, and you want your cat to hook up with another cat. Now your cat, you gotta train them to swipe left or right if they're into the other cat.
Or cat breeding.
Yes.
Cat. Usually I'm neutered. The pet one.
Well, you would put them on Tinder then.
No, you list that in their profile. Baby, we can hook up, and you're not getting any
Ah, Jesus.
any surprises.
Cat Tinder. New thing.
I'm just $1 billion idea a minute.
Unfortunately, people would probably use that. It might actually be useful for breeders if they want to create a specific cat. Viable. Next.
Perfectly.
Next idea. Really, Chef Mate though so far is actually a good idea.
The chef may still sounds mostly
Give me another business other than
A Chef
Tinder.
Mate for babysitting that might already exist.
What?
Like a Uber for babysitting. I need a babysitter.
Babysitting?
I go to an app and I got a babysitter.
Yeah, I don't think you should screen your babysitter very thoroughly.
You might want
But
to
like,
check a criminal
but like
background.
Uber should be rated. Like this person has like 30 ratings and they're all 5-star. Okay, obviously I trust this babysitter.
But
yes, you
yeah,
have to be that asshole who starts.
Yeah, well, that and I mean you can fake ratings.
So what about
True.
registered sex offender you don't know about?
You have to have a
Babysitting
background check to get on it, just like Uber and Lyft. You know, like you can't just become an Uber driver and be a serial killer. Like you have to go through a little bit of hoops to become an Uber driver. I would assume the hoops would just be larger to be the babysitter. That might already exist. Baby mate. Actually, that sounds like a Tinder for babies. There you go.
Hey.
Babies.
Play date.
Actually, that is a good idea.
Yeah, for kids to find other kids to play with. Okay.
That's actually a good idea.
Mostly downloaded by pedophiles.
No.
Well, they would have to show up with kids.
To be a registered user, you need to have a kid, a certified kid to prove that.
A certified kid? What the fuck does that mean?
By blood, it's your kid, or not necessarily.
You have to have like a birth
but
certificate or something.
It's your kid, so basically, to prove the kid is your kid, I guess.
Just saying certified kid was so funny. This is a certified child, sir. I've had him tested. He's not 70% child.
This is not inflatable.
Oh, that's fucked up! What if that exists for pedophiles? Oh my god!
That probably.
Oh my god!
If not, another idea.
Another $1 million idea. Keep the pedophiles off the street. Real dolls.
I've got another pedophile-based one. All right. I just brought this up. All right.
This got so dark.
You already have guys that have been convicted for pedophilia. You can look them up where they're at.
Yeah, they have to go knock when they move in the
Yeah,
neighborhood. We actually got a letter one time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You
So-
should have too, unless it was just in our reach.
Because I don't think we did.
Yeah.
No.
So this idea is because you can kind of pedophiles have a look.
I don't think they really do.
They do. Sometimes you look at a guy and you're like, he looks kind of like a
What?
pedophile.
Hold the phone. What's the registry called? Pedophile registry?
Yeah. Let's look at pedophile pictures.
We're going to stereotype pedophiles right here. We're going to solve this stereotype once for all.
Sex offender registry.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's sex offender instead of pedophile.
Oh man.
I don't think they'll have. Will they have their pictures? Maybe.
Yeah. What the hell is the point if they don't?
No, you can only look it up.
Let's see. 43230. Search. Yeah.
Oh, they do have pictures.
There's a woman. That threw me off already. Okay.
That guy looks like
There's
a
your
pedophile.
typical
Yeah.
pedophile. This guy? Not so much.
No. That guy
That
kind
guy?
of looks
Okay.
like one.
That guy?
Yeah,
That guy looks
that
more like a
doesn't look
murderer.
Quite as, yeah.
No? See?
But, I mean, there is a stereotype
Wait,
for pedophiles,
that's
right?
Robbery.
Yeah, you're not
How's that
seeing.
even,
Yeah. You're not seeing pedophiles. You're seeing different things.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go back,
You're
go
right.
back.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I got domestic violence and stuff. What if we only pointed out the pedophiles?
I am going to guess.
It doesn't show.
Yeah, you
I
can't
can't
select
sort
what
by
crime.
pedophile. Or sex offender, I should say.
I want to see the pedophiles.
I only want to see pedophiles, sir. Let's see. Sexual battery. Oh,
That was the guy who said, okay, he totally looks like one. And guess what? Now here's where my app comes in, okay? Here's where my app idea comes in. Because they have a stereotypical look, here's the idea. You snap a pic, you post it to this website,
I see this.
and it's futurepedophiles.com in your neighborhood. You go and you're like, there are some creepy looking guys around here. Sure, it might invade some privacy.
Looking a little weird. This is a guy for rape. He doesn't look.
No, he doesn't.
Well, I guess rape's not really the same vein as pedophilia. Wow, the one guy that was on here for sex offense looked like the stereotypical sex offender.
That is why this app is a great idea.
Oh my god, that's so that's so retarded. What's GSI? Gross sexual innuendo.
Crime. Yeah, putting crime or something.
Gross sexual imposition. Wow, that guy's he's in our zip code. That's good to know. It's only one sexual abuse case in the area.
That's nice.
Wait,
But how many future pedophiles are in our
Hold
zip
on.
code?
we did our zip code. Let's go to Shelby. No,
Oh god, that's probably creepy. It's probably the guy that bangs dogs on there. Oh, wait.
Endangered child.
What's FEI?
What?
Very top one.
FEL assault.
FEL.
Felony.
Felony, yeah, it's
you're
felony
right.
assault. Yeah, it's felony assault. Robbery, burglary, change of address.
Notice what?
It's
he
probably
must
like
be
on parole or something.
Misdemeanor?
No, he's probably on parole and didn't change his address or something real stupid. Abduction, dude.
Hey, wait. Unlawful sexual conduct with a minor.
Oh my god.
Oh, he looks like a
sex offender.
pedophile.
Jesus Christ. Well, what we've learned is sometimes stereotypes hold water.
That's the second page.
Attempted rape. Oh my, come on! He's just like an older pedophile. He grew up in the age where, like, it was okay. Nobody talked about it. Look, he's born in 51.
Yeah.
Sweeping under the rug.
Yeah, basically. That's crazy. These were all in Shelby.
Yeah, Shelby's not, so nice anymore. It's
Apparently.
mostly freaking heroin addicts.
Apparently not.
Did he
Oh,
dead?
shit.
The neighbor stole his tools and shit.
Just yesterday I was visiting... Well, my cats are fighting. Joe is beating somebody up. Anyways, the Walmart by Papa John's after work, I stopped there and there was a fire truck out there and a police squad. And there was a lady on a bench just like slumped over, like not really responsive. Definitely a heroin overdose. Like, it was crazy.
We don't go to that Walmart at night.
It's probably not the best place to go to.
Which Walmart?
It's just the one near us.
Oh, the one you said.
Yeah, they shut down the Meijer on Cleveland. That's normally what
Did they?
I go to. Yeah, it wasn't like it was.
Some time ago.
It was better than that Walmart, but not like much. I should have gone to Kroger, but they don't have as much as Walmart at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Well, Kroger mainly for food.
Yeah,
If you want
Kroger
to
is
get
pretty
other
much food in your basic
They've got good prices. It's just you have to
bat
hang out
essentials.
with the meth heads.
Walmart, yeah. I literally avoid Walmart at all costs. Like, I went there yesterday. That was probably the first time I've been to Walmart in maybe like 4 or 5 months, maybe longer.
Yeah, we don't go too much. I'm a cheap bastard, so I will go for those prices. But
Amazon does that for most things.
yeah, but
You
sometimes
gotta
when you're
wait.
impatient.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you need something now, that's where I would go to Walmart. But normally, I will pay an extra 50 cents to go to Target. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
depending on what you're
I
getting.
don't find any need to go to Target. Like, either if I need anything like related to hardware or anything, I go to Lowe's.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like there's just so many other options, especially in Columbus, if you need
Yeah.
anything. Like, why go to Walmart? Well, I went to Walmart because it was 2 a.m. I didn't
Right.
have other options.
Right.
Like, why would you go to Walmart at 3 p.m. in the afternoon? What could you possibly need at Walmart that you couldn't get somewhere else? I mean, it's right across
It's
from
just that
Easton.
it's so convenient for us because it's so close.
What is right across from Easton?
But then you got to drive across to Easton.
That, like,
That's
extra
one more traffic
1/4 mile,
One
maybe?
traffic light.
Actually, depending on where you're going, it might be quicker to go to Target.
And it's-
actually, Target is closer to you than Walmart.
No,
Yeah, it is.
no.
Dude,
No.
this is my delivery area.
I go down Sunbury.
Yes. And so you go all the way down to Sunbury.
No.
Do you take
I still
Stelzer
go down
around?
Stelzer, Yeah.
Yeah, but you're just going well,
You don't
that
go
might
to lights.
technically be less. Yeah,
It's
you're right. You're right. That is faster since you're taking the Stelzer route there.
And it's cheaper. So that's the only reason I go for Walmart. Convenience and cheapness.
No morals. You're a libertarian too. This is the whole problem with libertarians. Sometimes
What?
cheaper beats out morality.
I don't care how they get the stuff to be so cheap. If it's 3-year-olds putting it together. That's not my problem.
Well,
Horrible.
to be fair,
so my
Target has the same thing. I was talking morality and how they treat their employees overall.
Yeah.
Walmart and Target are going to have things from
I
that.
don't think they treat employees terribly. It's just they hire the worst people.
Yeah.
They hire people that have no other options.
I've been creeped out once.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're kind of famous for cutting wages and cutting benefits, cutting hours.
I kind of feel like those people probably shouldn't be getting the greatest wage because most of them are probably like felons, or some of them are. I mean, some of the guys on that list over there probably work at Walmart.
But you're also encouraging
them to keep continuing because they have no options. Well, then maybe they shouldn't let them out so easily.
Well, yes. Depending on the charge. I don't know. I just don't like shopping at Walmart in general. One, the people that are there. Two, the support of Walmart.
I've been in there and there was some meth head talking to one employee I felt bad for because this lady was saying something to him, and it didn't make any sense. Nothing she was saying made any sense. She was like,
You got a hammer?
Yeah. Just going, I don't think we carry that.
Well, all you really need to know is if it's dark out, they have a police officer there.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know is how bad it is there.
But generally, if a police officer is there, I feel a little safer.
Right.
Well, that's why they have them there, because people probably wouldn't shop as much if they didn't have a police officer there. People are like, fuck that place. I'd rather not get stabbed tonight at old fucking Walmart. And I have seen ambulances there more than once.
Yeah. It's actually not inside of Walmart, but a little alley next to Walmart. At night, that looks sketchy as hell.
The alley next to Walmart, like in between the businesses where you go behind.
It's like next to Walmart. There's like Sam's Club, right? So in between, like where they push the carts, you usually see people.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I've bought drugs in the Walmart parking lot. Yeah, I mean,
seems like a bad place. They gotta have cameras. I wouldn't do it there.
Oh, you're in a car. What the hell does it? It's not like you're doing it out in the open. And it's private property, so you don't.
Still feel like
you don't have cops.
Well, I guess.
And it's busy.
Yeah, you'd want to be in a public area so they don't just shoot you and be like, "Thanks for your money."
Yeah, no, it's.
I guess it kind of.
I mean, by drugs we're talking like weed, so it's not like I wanted
moving 10 pounds.
Yeah,
raw cocaine.
Which is still why it needs to be legalized. Like, it's so dumb. I have to, like, text somebody and meet in a Walmart parking lot and yada, yada, yada for stuff like that. It's so dumb.
Then you're just going to a store and pay the
And if it's something else, like, let's say if you're buying, the heroin acts, that's one of the major problems with heroin is you don't really know exactly what you're getting. You go by word, like this guy has pure product or whatever. You don't know how pure it is. Like that's the biggest danger with
but you can't
the drug.
Openly sell heroin. I mean, it's really, really bad for you.
You can't, but you should be able to.
I don't think you should.
Oh yeah. I think.
Yeah,
I think. Just like
we're going to the vending machine.
Truck, they could have a little.
I thought your vending machine idea was bad. Now we're calling an ice cream truck for heroin.
I think a 4-year-old should be able to walk up to it, and they should even have pictures, so you don't need to know how to read or write yet, and you can point to which needle you want.
They have like a little mushroom dangling from the top instead of an ice cream cone. They have Pink Floyd playing as they drive around.
Oh, that's great, Pink Floyd. I like it.
But let's cut it straight. Do you think that is a bad? I mean, look, cut out the 4-year-old part. Should that be allowed?
I'm gonna go crazy and say yes.
I'm almost leaning towards yes because
I don't think so.
Here's the thing. So, like, should there be a law against it? Is one thing. Would people actually do it? Is another. Like, technically, on cable, there's no law against you showing hardcore porn.
yes, I
you
do
can. No one does it.
They would. Yeah, but
There's
if
a
the channel
standard.
shows that, then people will call and complain.
Yeah, so no one's going to show it.
Yeah.
So if somebody went through with an ice cream truck full of heroin and drugs into your neighborhood, like, I think cities can pass little ordinances saying, we don't really want them.
We don't want Mr. H coming around here.
and I'm pretty sure they'll be widely adopted. No one will really have.
California does have speed weed.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's terribly unsafe.
No, I think it's just like the show Wire.
Mm-hmm.
They should have little zone.
Yeah.
Like Amsterdam.
And seriously,
that's actually
and
a good
I don't
idea.
want to prevent that zone from having a little van that drives around with the drugs or a vending machine.
Every
with drugs.
state and every city needs an Amsterdam.
Yeah, if they have a Hamsterdam and they
Hamsterdam. That's what it was called. Hamsterdam. That's
and
right.
they can have the drugs in the most convenient way possible to them. There. And then over here we have little laws and ordinances against it.
Kind of what countries have done, though, is they have like their heroin clinics where if you want heroin, you can go there and they inject it into you. That way you know exactly what you're getting, so on and so forth.
Yeah. So, I mean...
But I'm still down for like, what if I was on... I have, once again, drug mate. I want... You know what? I really feel like ecstasy tonight. Like, I go on my app, boop, and it comes to me.
Yeah, in the private.
That actually seems more safe than... I don't have to go out to get it. I don't...
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to a... Well, if it's ecstasy, most people are probably going to be at a club and using it. And then they're going to use Uber to get back. But anyways, I don't see any problem with that. The problem with the ice cream truck delivery is the fact that you're going around town just advertising it the whole time.
Just can't get
You could have
pointing to the needle out of my head.
You could get like the old school paper delivery boys where they'd stand in the corner and be like, I got your H, I got your cocaine.
Nice.
You know what would be another good idea? Just like in the Futurama, they should have those suicide booths that were available.
Suicide booth?
Yeah,
I don't remember that in
Futurama.
Futurama. No.
You just hit a button and it kills you.
I mean,
not much more to it.
Woo! Pretty much to the point there.
Yeah.
We need to make a show just so we can have this drug ice cream truck scene in it. That's all we... Can we write this in, Rick and Morty? That'd be great. I want to see this. An app actually is a viable idea for that, for delivering drugs. I mean, it already exists for prescription drugs and for weed. I mean, I guess that technically is prescription in place. Do you know... I know it's September that it becomes medical in Ohio, but does it really become medical?
I thought we were voting on it again.
I thought
I don't really know. We're not going to be here. We're going to be where it's already medical.
The dude, what's his name? Kasich just... No.
John Kasich?
I thought he would have been against it.
Governor.
Yeah, he's the governor.
Yeah, I thought he just went ahead and approved.
Maybe. I don't know.
Medical marijuana. Yeah, you guys are going to be in California where you're just like, my back hurts. Can I get some weed? Yeah, sure. Here you go. Okay. I don't even think you need to like have a hurt back. You just be like, it helps me sleep. Medical marijuana.
Yeah, what was the last year in LA?
What did we see last year in LA?
Begging for weed? Begging money for weed.
Did somebody?
Yeah.
Begging money for weed?
Yeah, it's like a $1
Oh,
for weed.
guy said I am gonna, like, some guy had a sign saying that he was gonna waste it on drugs and alcohol.
I would give money to him. I totally would.
I remember
If
seeing
you're going to
that.
be honest with me.
Yeah.
There's a panhandler on a podcast that literally confirmed that. It's like, yeah, pretty much every panhandler you see is there just to get money for drugs real quick.
Don't doubt that.
I still give them money every now and then just 'cause, like, whatever. September 8th.
God, bro.
September 8th.
Okay.
It will be legal. The new law doesn't specify where people can get marijuana.
Lots of people's backs are gonna start hurting on September 8th.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have major back problems. Diagnosed with a qualifying medical condition. It's all gonna depend on what they consider qualifying.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to be like Randy.
It's gonna be like everything though, where once it like takes off,
Eventually, yeah.
everybody's gonna know the doctors that you can go to if you need the card.
The ball is huge that you need.
What?
In South Park.
I don't know.
Randy Marsh.
He took his balls up to the microwave and left.
Oh, that episode. Oh god, where they bounced
big
around on
bouncy
the
balls.
balls. Oh god. That episode was ridiculous, but great.
That's pretty much all the South Park episodes.
When are you guys officially moving? Once you sell the house?
I don't know.
Well, don't you have a start date for your job?
She has, end of September.
September 26th is my starting day, so I'll probably be leaving a week before.
So what are you gonna do? Just live in an apartment if it's not sold by then?
Yeah, they provide temporary housing.
they
Yeah,
have-
Oh, really? Well, I guess that would make sense for that kind of company.
Yeah.
And I think I'm about to get an offer from Cisco. So
In California, like where
yeah,
at?
it's in.
Well, I was trying to think of where you guys
Yes,
said.
yes,
Didn't you
yes,
say it was
yes.
close
Yeah.
to San Francisco?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
you
in
guys-
San Francisco. Or,
Oh.
well, the Bay Area.
There.
Well, we always think so. They have terrible geography, and they do around there. But
An hour, more than
to
an hour
us,
away.
to people that aren't locals, you would call it San Francisco.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Fine.
I remember
It's like
you just saying it was
Westerville
San Francisco,
or like New Albany,
which is basically Columbus.
yeah. People that don't live here would call it Columbus.
Yeah.
Still don't drive an hour.
No, but it's not as big, or Columbus isn't as big.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that Columbus has all those different cities around it. But I still call it pretty much Columbus.
it's
But when
just
you're trying to get a reference of where you're talking about, it's like, well, it's like next to Westerville.
Yeah, if I'm talking to somebody not in San Francisco, I would say I'm in San Francisco.
Yeah. Well, it's the same when people ask where I'm from. I'll be like, Mansfield. I'm not going to say Shelby because they're just going to look at me
I have no
confused.
idea what that is. And even then, I think there's an actual separation more than there is between Columbus and Westerville, because like if you drive from Shelby to Mansfield, there's nothing in between. Like there's just a big gap of nothing. But if I drive from downtown Columbus to Westerville, just businesses and residential,
Yeah.
time and time again, like it's just nonstop
Yeah,
development.
but when you tell other people that you say like you work or live in San Francisco, they're gonna picture like the very beautiful cities,
I don't know.
ocean.
I think you have war
That's
bracket
just
how many
California.
people know.
That's just California, yeah.
No, mountain. Yes.
I mean, some people, like, even if you say you're in Columbus, Ohio, they think, oh, you must live on a farm. Like, seriously, if you go to New York City and you say you're from
For Columbus, I wouldn't think so.
Oh,
really?
some people do.
Yeah.
I've seen people on Reddit complaining when they go to New York City and say that. It's like, we're not all from a fucking farm, alright? We live in a giant city.
We are, though.
Yeah,
We're from a farm area.
Yeah. But people just build ideas and over-stereotype. I mean, it's common.
That's true. If when people say they're from New York, you pretty much just
Yeah.
assume New York
there's
City.
There's a whole part of New York that is nothing like New York City.
Ignored New York City.
So you mean New York
In
City.
Ohio's corn, Cedar Point.
Pretty much.
There was like a map like that on Reddit where it was like what
Stereotypes.
people would think of.
I think everyone from Texas is a cowboy.
Well, I don't know. You like Houston and all those places. I guess you do probably think they're all the what
Oil
are they-
man.
What are the types? Stereotype.
State stereotype.
State
Stereotype map.
stereotypes map. Oh, it came up. I'm sure ours is just corn.
Nah, ours is probably
Or swing state.
normal. Swing states is probably a good one. That is not it at all.
What the?
That is...
You failed me, Google. I wanted this.
Oh, wait. Corn...
I'm bringing it up. Why is it so small?
Jesus.
Why is
Wait,
Looks like Iowa is corn, which is
that's
accurate.
not Iowa?
No, where is that?
That's Oklahoma,
Oh.
right? Oklahoma's
Shit,
the
bring up a
hatchet.
real map, because I can't...
Oklahoma's the hatchet, man.
Oh, you're... Okay.
United States. What a fucking retarded. Are we both wrong?
Maybe.
Oh, it's Nebraska. God
That's
damn.
Nebraska is corn?
Oh yeah, this tornadoes is
I
Oklahoma.
thought Nebraska was up one.
This
Go back to the real map. So go zoom in. No, I think you're right.
it's Nebraska.
yeah.
Geography lesson today.
But what are we?
Why are we swinger? Oh, swing state.
state, yeah.
Swingers. I thought it meant swingers.
Yeah, we're really known for that here.
What? Fake boobs and oranges. That's where you're going.
Yeah.
You're going from swingers to fake boobs and oranges. All right.
Yeah, hey, you know what? My vote won't matter anymore.
Wait.
Doesn't matter who I vote for.
I thought Florida was oranges.
They do too. They both do.
California has oranges? I don't know.
Yeah, of course. They're both tropical.
Armed and God-fearing. That's Texas. That makes sense. Flying saucers.
Kentucky's got to be marry your cousin.
Fried chicken.
Uh,
Those both. Chastity pop. Diabetes. What's diabetes?
Louisiana?
Alabama.
No. Alabama.
Alabama.
Racists. You can say that about the whole...
South?
Yeah, the whole South. Gene jugglers.
Geeks over there.
Washington. Yeah.
I think more
I would
like-
think hipsters.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Hipsters would be-
Hipster is what I think.
This is actually, I don't even like, I disagree with too much of this one. Big morons. We still are swing
Nah,
state.
that's too... Big morons.
This one. Ooh. No, the other one.
Why is this state so... This is actually from Google searches.
Oh.
So they typed in, why is this state so... And then they did it for each state. But the picture's not coming up. Important. Ohio is important. Why is this state so important?
Code.
Why is this state so white for Maine? liberal. Racist and poor is all for the South.
Well, at least expensive was pretty on point.
Yeah? Cold for Michigan. Cold is just all the ones at the top. You gotta be a fucking idiot if you're typing in
Why is it so cold? Because it's the north.
Because it's the north. Obviously. Anyways, it's probably a good time to end it. Before we drag on too long and jump to like 3 more subjects.
Another pedophile app.
Anyways, trademark on Chef Mate. You can have the pedophile app.